Thank you, Bill, for the wonderful introduction. I'm excited to be here. So not only am I with KLI Brand, because I've been and ran a business and started a business from the business incubator on up to actually KLI Brand. So I have started at the very beginning with having a board of advisors. So I understand the very much value that other people's experience brings, as well as the ability to have them hold you accountable, checks and balances, which is why I love SCORE. But I've also been on the Google team for the last 7 years. I've been on the Google team, primarily working with, as you can see in the back here, where is that? There, the Air Force hat, working with military because of my background and growing up on military bases. My first job was in the commissary, so I very much am a military brat. I understand the military lifestyle of deployment and PCS, and I work with a lot of military spouses and family members who may be either in business or it could be the actual military active duty moving to civilian life now as a veteran and also as an entrepreneur. So that's when Google primarily has me in, but I also speak to a lot of small businesses about Google because I understand what it's like to be in your shoes and be butcher, baker, and candlestick maker and grow a business as well as try to be chief marketer, chief analyst, and everything else that's needed to be able to run a business that has a digital presence, because there needs to be digital presence, right? Everybody's going there first online to look when they want to know, go, do, or buy. But also, if you have physical presence, if you've won both or some sort of hybrid of that, okay? Or just the brick and mortar. So let's go ahead and dive in. But I do want to show you that's who I am. So you just met me. That's who I am. I am on the Google team and I'm excited to be here today with you. And please use the chat box if you have any questions. I will make sure that I answer those questions. If they're quick and short, I like to keep it very interactive. This is your first time in a session with me, and that is what I do. That's the energy that I bring. Now, if it's lengthy, if it's about a sentence to write it, that usually takes about 1 minute for me to read it. And all you get to see is the top of my head, which is not a great learning experience. So I want this to be a valuable experience for you, and I will save those to the end. So I'm not ignoring you. In fact, I'll ask you to just hold it till the end or to copy and paste it so I don't lose it in the chat feed. So do we got a deal if you'll do that? I do want to keep it interactive. So let's dive in. First, if you want a copy of the slides in the handout, you can get a hold of that right now. You can use that link bit.ly, Google Maria. Now, if you've ever used a bit.ly link, and I will drop it in the chat as well, if you've ever used a bit.ly link, it is case sensitive, so you cannot capitalize anything there or else you won't find the link, it'll break it. Or you can use that QR code. The slides and the handout that I'm using are there right now, and as Bill said, we will also send that to you afterwards, but it'll be there during the session if you want to follow along with it. A lot of people will use this as their checklist afterwards should they need to follow along, and when they're listening to the replay, because you might want to slow me down or speed me up as we're going along to really know what you need to do next. So a lot of times this operates well as an outline. Let me show that one more time in case you need it. And I did drop the link in the chat box. So if you can find the chat box, because I do want to be sure that I do keep this highly interactive, and just say, hey, in the chat box, let me know your business. I'd love to know, because I might have actual examples that are closer to around your actual business or your profession. I would love to know that and be able to customize that for you, okay? Because I do customize every session that I do for anybody in the room. And today we're going to be talking about how you can get found on Google search and maps there and be seen. Now, everything in the blue link is everything Google small business. Go ahead and use that if you want to find out anything small business. And my name again is Maria Elena Duron, D-U-R-O-N. You'll see my X or my Twitter handle first at Maria Duron, D-U-R-O-N, or at Marketing Coach Maria on Instagram. If you want to connect with me there, please do. I love when you connect with me because it gives me a chance to find out how you applied what you learned, okay? So let's dive in. We're going to be talking today about what is a Google business profile. I love this. Okay, I see people finding the chat box now. I see we've got vegan nail polish. Hello, welcome Casey. Hello Jamalia, welcome. JLB Advisors, consulting for nonprofits. Laurel's a bookkeeper. Welcome Laurel, thank you so much. We've got Chris, who's a yoga studio in Northeast Ohio. Welcome to Chris. Thank you for being here. Emmanuel, I see you as well. Welcome from Palm Beach. Welcome everyone. This is exciting to see you in here. Greens. Hello, everybody. Yes, Janice, welcome too. I got to meet Janice just a moment ago when we first came in a spa in Columbus. Krista, thank you. Jessica, perfect. Diane, this is exactly what I'm looking for you to be able to share because you never know who somebody is, who somebody will become, or who they influence, right? So we'll talk about a Google business profile, how to create it, how to manage it, and all the resources. So let me know in the chat box if you already have a business profile by just putting the number 1 there. If you have a Google business profile, now you may know it as a Google listing, GMB, Google My Business. It changed names about 2 or 3 years ago, but just so there, I see a lot of people do. Okay, for those of you that do, I want you to know that we are going to be talking about how you can set it up. And you may think, oh, well, I don't need to pay attention at this point. But we know that artificial intelligence has really ramped up in becoming involved in search, right? So people and actually Google search is now powered by AI, search generative. And that is really rolling out heavy within this last week and a half. So I want you to be familiar with all the aspects and make sure you've totally optimized it because your Google business profile is a very important ranking factor. It is so important when people are searching and when they're looking, and what you put in there in your description, what your reviews you look like, your products and your services is really something that's given priority in that algorithm. So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of it because we can. As small businesses, this is our opportunity to really control what people find on Google search and maps. So I see, hello, Justin. Thank you everybody for letting me know that it's your first time here. Okay, no worries. If you're not sure whether or not you have a Google business profile, no worries. This will show you where you can actually look for it as well. Hello, Siva, welcome. So your Google business profile is just that. It's a chance for you to control what's being seen on Google search and maps. So you see it on a mobile device right now, and understand that 84% of the general population is going to mobile first when they want to know, go, do, or buy. When I'm working with any team that might have limited resources and time, because who has a tremendous amount of time, right? We're all very busy. But because we know that people are utilizing mobile, if all you have is the ability to build out your mobile presence and you have to wait for desktop, it really makes a lot of sense now because people are utilizing mobile first, right? They reach for that device anytime. They may have several different devices, but that's the one that's normally on their person. So when people search, this is what happens. You'll see on that right-hand side there, highlighted in blue, a blue outline, you'll see that's your Google business profile hanging out there on the right-hand side with so much visual real estate. So it really gives you a chance for free to capture the attention of people that are searching for your product, service, or solution. So see how that looks on a laptop. That's the same way it looks on a tablet. Of course, on mobile, it looks a little bit different because it's going to look like this on maps. A lot of people will search with maps, and we do know there's a remarkable difference between when people search on maps and when they search on search. There's usually that's a signal that they are local, which means they're looking if somebody has that locally, they have that product or they have it in stock, and how they can go ahead and obtain that because they might actually have it for delivery or they might actually show up at your location, depending on, again, how far you are from where they're searching. And that is all a part of Google's algorithm. So when we think about Google's algorithm, there are 3 components, 3 pillars, right? They are all about 1,000 factors each. So there's several factors that make each pillar, but the first one is relevance. How well do we match what people are searching? So if I'm a pediatric orthodontist and I put out there I am involved in pediatric orthodontistry, and that I work, with people who are needing help with their teeth, etc. But that is my predominant word that I'm using in all my description. And a mom goes on to Google and says, "Hey Google, hey Alexa," or asks ChatGPT, "What do I need to do to straighten my 13-year-old's teeth?" Those words don't match, so they're not relevant. So Google's not just going to show you up high in search. And no matter how you're feeling about different companies, Google's still the #1 search engine in the world. It's #1, and #2 is YouTube, which are both owned by Google. So it's on us as businesses to really understand and know how search works. So if you're not a brick and mortar business, no worries. You can still have a Google business profile. There is a myth out there that it's just for brick and mortar. Absolutely not. Home-based businesses, that is what you need. In fact, I worked originally, as I said, in a business incubator. After I graduated, I went ahead and got an office location. 2020 happened, right? Which happened many years later, but 2020 happened and we transitioned to being more remote and working from home base. So of course I don't want people showing up at my house, right? So you can still have a Google business profile. You don't even have to start out brick and mortar to do that. You absolutely can. Home-based businesses. So skin consultants, insurance agents, independent representatives for nutrition, for supplements, for weight loss, whatever they're doing, they can also have a Google business profile as long as you know how to set that up. So you can get one. So home-based businesses, whatever you're doing, service-based, if if you take care of mobile notary, all of that, you can do that. And what's nice about your Google business profile is that it showcases nicely across all devices. And the reason I bring this up is because, we all have these little things, but we might start on this one. So I might be, where I'm getting ready, to meet with my kiddo's teacher. So I'm at school and I'm looking at this. Then I get to a cafe later because I'm going to meet with a client and I throw it over to my tablet or I throw it to a laptop. And then when I get home, I might throw it over to my smart TV. So we need to be able to adjust, which is what your Google business profile does. It adjusts to any device because we know people have multiple devices. Is it the same for social media, education services? Yes, all of that. Any of your businesses can be shown on Google, a Google business profile, and I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So those of you who do have one, use this as your opportunity to review that you haven't put any obstacles in your way or that you haven't left out something that could really help you show up more. So we're talking about being able to be clear in our branding and optimizing. So if you don't have a Google business profile, you'll see a blue link there to the left at the bottom of all the text, and that's google.com/business. That's where you can get started. Now you do need a Google account to get started. What's a Google account? Well, let's see here. Let me go to that screen right there. So a Google account is a Gmail account. That's a Google account. If you have Gmail, you're golden. And if not, there's no cost for a Google account. If you have your email address and you don't want to change it to Gmail, then don't. What you can do is go to that blue link at the very bottom left-hand side there, and you can set up an account. You're going to go ahead and use your current email address and create a password. And like any other password protected site online, this is what you're going to use to log in. So you do not have to have a Gmail account. But if you have one step done, you're ready to go. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. And if you just came in, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link one more time in the chat box of how you can get the slides and the handout that I have today, because you might want to click on this blue link just straight from the handout or from the slides. So you're welcome to do that with the slides. And again, I just dropped that in the chat box. So you can go to google.com/business and get started. Once you do this, you can also go to Maps. So if you want to do that, or you want to go to Maps and get that started, you can actually click on your address. Now understand, if you're going to do it from Maps, then you have to have an address that you're going to be showing to everybody. So a lot of times people, especially home-based businesses or working from home or by appointment only, will do it this way from search, right? From google.com/business. So they'll start here, but it's really up to you. You're welcome to do it either way. It's your choice. Once you do that and you get into step 2, so you can do that either through Maps or through going through the google.com/business URL, then you will start with being able to build your business profile. If you don't have one, you're going to put your name in there and it'll bring up the name of every business in the United States that has that name. Not to worry, pick the one that is your address, your town actually. So it's not even going to be your address, it'll be your city and your state. Choose the right one. And if you're not there, enter yourself in. So now's a chance for you to actually enter yourself in, and you can choose a business category. Now do know there are only 3,000 business categories. So of course it doesn't cover every business and every conjugation of business. That is okay. Choose the one that's closest to you for now. You'll have the opportunity later, when you've already verified that you are the business owner, to choose 9 subcategories that can help you actually show the uniqueness of the different services that you provide. Now, here comes the key question, everybody who's home-based or who is by appointment only. You're going to be asked to check yes or no. Do you have a location customers visit? If you want foot traffic, that means people coming in all day long. So you're a salon, you're a restaurant, you're a bar, you're a cafe, you're a yoga studio, you're a boutique. You want people to come in all day long, then you want to answer yes to this question. You want to tick the first mark. But if you deliver products and services to customers at their location, meaning you're a home-based business, you're by appointment only, maybe you're a carpet installer and you have a warehouse where you keep the van and all your tools, but it's not meant to be public facing, so you do go see your customers at their location. And everyone, just so you know, sometimes their location is this device. Sometimes that's how you're getting them information. Sometimes it's you're exchanging it at the parking lot with your kiddos taekwondo. Maybe it's after church, or maybe it's after you've had a meeting with the volunteers. You've been at Rotary, you bring it over there. So sometimes it's you delivering it in that manner. It's at their location. Okay. Somebody has a hot mic, so I just want to let you know that it's on. So we are recording, just to make sure you know that, just in case you don't know your mic's muted. All right, everyone. So the next thing, remember, this is important. You want to answer your question this way. Yes, you have a location, or no, you do not, which means you bring your products or services to their location, even if you drop it off at their mailbox, okay? All right, now you've just been asked this question, and now you're asked this. This can be confusing. You are going to have to put your address in. Let me explain. The reason you bring this address in is because Google has to make sure that you're actually a US based business, that you're just not some fly by night business using some sort of business front or a PO box, because PO boxes do not work to be able to verify your Google business profile. So you're going to have to put your address in, but that is so that Google can verify that you are actually here. They may send a postcard, they may verify it in a different way, but they are verifying that you actually are in the location that you say you are, and you're not somebody in a foreign country trying to establish a location here in the United States. So they will verify in that way. Because they are verifying in that way, often we as busy business owners don't pay attention to the fact that when the postcard comes, or when we're given, so when we get a postcard verification, it means they send a postcard to the actual mailing address of that location, and then we get a 5-digit security code, or they could text you that if they decide to do it by text or by phone. You'll know all of that ahead of time, because Google never calls you unless you know that they're calling. Anything else is spam and scam. So understand that when you get your 5-digit security code, the first thing that it'll give you is to enter that code. And the first thing that happens is it'll ask you to drop the pin in the map. Don't do it. Do not do it, because then once you do that, that actually is notification to Google that you want to be seen on Google search and maps, and you don't want that. It'll tempt you all the time. It'll keep pinging you. Just ignore it. You can skip past it. But that is how you keep your address off of Google search and maps, but still your business there. Can you use a registered agent address? You mean like a PO box? No. Can you do a WeWork or a Pack Mail or a UPS store? Sometimes, sometimes not. Okay, so it just depends really on your location. Okay, sometimes you can. You can never with a PO box though. Never ever. That will never be able to. That you'll instantly be not able to set up your Google business profile. So just so that you're aware of that. Okay. Again, somebody does have their mic on, so if you want to just make sure you mute, so it's a good recording and a clean recording for everybody, I would greatly appreciate that. Okay. All right. So the next thing you're going to do, regardless of if you have a brick and mortar or if you are online only or by appointment only, you will now actually designate your service area. This is where you have a chance to put up to 20 different cities, states, or not states, but cities, zip codes, counties. So you have 20 different ones you can put there. And we're often tempted to say, oh my gosh, we take care of everything, right? From Maine to Baja California, from all the way from Seattle all the way down to Miami. We like to say we take care of everything, especially if we can serve nationwide. It's not like we're not being truthful. But the reality of this tool and the superpower of this tool, it is hyper local focused. You can use other tools to reach the nation or reach the world, but this tool is hyper local focused within a 100-mile area. And this is very critical for you to know, because if you span past 100 miles, then you start diluting your visibility in Google search and maps because it's too wide. In fact, I've seen people who are, they don't put their address on there, but they say they serve from Miami to Seattle, and all of a sudden now their location is showing up in the ocean somewhere, and that's the only people who might be searching in that particular strip of ocean will be able to find their search, their Google business profile. Don't waste your time creating one if you're not going to stay within a 100-mile radius. In fact, whenever I'm working with a business and coaching them, I tell them to stay within 50 because I know the sweet spot of this tool. So let's say I live in Midland, Texas, which is the base of the panhandle in Texas. You might know us from Friday Night Lights or Jessica Fell in the Well. Usually we're known by one of those two things. So when people are doing business with me, I do business nationwide, but let's say I do a lot of speaking and training and coaching in Oklahoma. Well, though I live in Midland, Texas, and this is where my address is, I can say I serve Oklahoma City and 100 miles around Oklahoma City because that's where my best customer is. Now it's on us to understand and know so well our best customer. So we do that heavy lifting in our business to really be experts on our customers. And that's why we need to know, where do those 20 areas need to be? Is it close to around us, our local area, or over there? But for those of you who are debating, where do I choose? Another factor that you need to keep in mind is that if you are a nationwide or worldwide business, that you absolutely need reviews, because reviews, that third party validation, are so much weight in when and how people are making decisions, right? We all love referrals and recommendations. To give them and to receive them is very important. And it's not different in your Google business profile. In order for you to compete on the national stage, you need 60 5-star reviews as an individual, as a service provider. If you're an e-commerce store, you need 120 5-star reviews, 120, 60 for somebody who's service based or you're building your brand as an authority. You need those 5-star reviews, and they can't just be 5 stars and they didn't leave a comment. There needs to be at least 250 to 320 characters, so about 2 or 3 sentences that describe it for it to be counted in that 60 or 120. Other than that, it's just there, but it's not counted into that average. This is really important. The reason I say it's an important part of your decision making is because we all had lives before we started our business, right? So if I am used to, I volunteered a lot with church, with Boy Scouts. My boys were in the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts, so people knew me there before I started my business. And you can reach out to people even in different roles that you had, but they know you as a volunteer with Rotary or a volunteer with the United Way. They know you. You can reach out and say, could you give me a good review? Local people are within arm's length to be able to help you actually build your review base, and they can start just knowing your work ethic and your integrity, and that you're a visionary or an eye, really somebody who has the eye on the future and helps plan for that. You're wonderful at goal setting. They can give you all those great reviews. So keep that in mind when you're deciding on your service area. All right, now you enter your business contact info. From there, if you don't have a website, don't worry about it. You don't need to put that in. You can put that in later. You are going to choose the verification method. For a while, just recently, really, it was just only by video, which is one of the hardest ways to be verified. So if you get stuck in video verification, make sure you reach out to Bill so he can reach out to me, and we can even cover that during one of the trainings on how you can actually go through the video verification, because it's not easy. But I do know from actually yesterday and this morning, in fact, that some people were able to do it by text. So I see that they're bringing back a lot of the other ways to verify. I know for a while, as Google was building out a lot of things with AI, artificial intelligence, the team was very slim, and so it was only video that they were allowing for verification. But phone, text, or email, you can choose that, so you will know that it's coming. So you don't have to be surprised. Make sure if you're getting it by text, turn off the do not disturb, or they're calling. Make sure you have it available and you're right there, because you don't want to miss that. If you miss it, now you're thrown into another verification form and you cannot use the text one. All right, you're going to put your mailing address, because they may mail out the postcard to you. You're going to go ahead and verify that information, and then you're going to wait for verification. If it's the mailing verification, then it can take up to 14 days if they're mailing the postcard to you. Or if you're doing video verification, it may take several times. On average, it's taking people about 8 or 9 times to do the video verification. So I just want to give you a heads up that it's not a first time thing. Do not feel alone. It's on average about 8 or 9 times. Okay? Now, how do you manage your info in your Google business profile? Yes, I'm recording it. I absolutely am, Amber. Um, so you can manage it in Google search results. Just bring up google.com. And then when you're logged into the Google account, so remember what I said about Gmail being a Google account. So if you're logged into that Gmail account that you created your business profile with, or a new other account, another Google account that you created it with, then when you go to Google search, this is what you'll see. So see all those icons that you see there? Everything there is right there that you can manage. So you'll see that you can manage and edit profile, read reviews, all of those icons there will be active once you're verified. Now you can edit your business name. Make sure it's something that people will recognize and that you use as your business name. Your category, you can add now the 9 subcategories. So remember what I said about your first category is the primary category that you had to come up with, and you could only choose one when you were going through the verification process. Do not change that category, because if you change the category, if you have to, let's say that, because you may have to. And so I'm not saying you're breaking everything, but understand that when you change your category, that is what's known as a change in your business and could signal a verification event, which means that Google will need to verify you again. You'll have to go through the verification process because it wants to know, why are you changing your business and what it does. And so while that happens, while you're going through the verification process, your actual business will not be able to be found on search and maps. So all that time it will go without that visibility. So we don't want to knock ourselves into a verification event if we don't have to, right? So when you have a main category, you can add up to 9 subcategories. So 9, there we go, because I'm in a little half here. So 9 subcategories. Be and do that very slowly though. So be very specific about what those new categories are that you're adding. Those are called subcategories, and that can help now showcase the really uniqueness of your business. So let's say you're a dry cleaner, right? Let's say you're a dry cleaner, but you also do leather cleaning, leather repair, and shoe repair. Those are all 3 other different categories. So you can be a dry cleaner is your main category, and now you add leather cleaning, leather repair. But I would do leather cleaning and then I would wait 2 weeks. So I would add it and wait 2 weeks. And then I would add to it shoe repair. Then I'd wait 2 or 3 weeks. And then I add leather repair. So I add those categories slowly, those subcategories, because I do not want to trigger a verification event, which means that now Google cannot see me and people cannot search me because it's going through verifying if I'm the business owner. You can go in there and also update your description. Remember what I said about matching what people are looking for. So you need to know the words that people use. This is so very important. And so remember, we at one time may have been our best customer, but we need to really understand our best customer. So read your reviews, because in your reviews, in their own words, they are telling you what matters most to them. Industry wide, we might know what matters most or what should matter most. We may even use industry speak, which are not the words that people are using when they're searching. You need to understand your target customer, target audience, the words they use. And if you don't have customers yet, then do a little bit of competitive research and go read your competitors' reviews, because in their own words, they're saying what matters most. They also are revealing what are the weak areas of your competitor that may be a good sweet spot for you. Okay, you can look at your location also. If you want to put that on there, do not put that on there. But you can also, if you don't want to be shown on search and maps, don't put your actual physical location and drop the pin, but you can put the cities, the zip codes, and the counties, your hours, and then more. You can also choose an attribute. Know that a lot of times people will choose attributes because they're looking for that. I know a lot of the veterans I work with look very closely for veteran owned. It is how they make a decision on who they're actually going to do business with. Okay, I see a question here from Laurel. I accidentally created a Google business account under 2 different Gmail addresses. Can I delete one I don't want? Absolutely. You can delete one that you don't want. You absolutely can. It will be still available there for about 90 days, just in case you made a mistake and wanted to come back to it. So it takes a little bit for Google to go through and clean it. And that is because sometimes people will say, oh no, I want that back. So you've got that. Plus it takes time for the bot to go through there and do the cleaning. Okay, great question, Laurel. You also have this available to you. This is a free tool. So if you are product based, so if you have products, it's not just services, you can use this actual URL that you'll see over here. pointy.withgoogle.com. It's 100% free. You can scan the barcode of any product that you have, and that way you can populate the product section of your Google business profile and showcase your products there, which people are very visual. If 2020 showed us anything with TikTok coming on board, they are highly video focused and very visual. So it's important for us to be able to showcase our actual products. Plus, too, we know that people are also searching visually. So if you've ever looked, if you've got an Android phone, and then you can also get it in the iOS App Store. If you've ever used Google Lens, that's visual search. So that's been around for a long while. Actually, I know at least 5 years that you can actually point and click at something. So let's say I'm at a festival and I see some spices and I just don't want to carry the bag with me. So I want to save that photo of what the spice is that I like to see if there's somebody locally that has it. I might snap a picture of it and then it'll do a visual search. So if somebody's uploaded their products this way, then they can show up. And if you don't, then you miss an opportunity. So that's why it's so very important to that. Okay. You're very welcome, Laurel. So add photos. People are very visually focused, but we're very smart. We do know what stock photos look like. So we don't like stock photos. We want real photos. In fact, that's one of the things, if you remember back in the day in the newspapers, you put photos of people locally and people will want that newspaper because they're going to scrutinize to see, do I know this person? And who in the photo do I know? So this can help you also with a lot of brand awareness. And when you have photos that are similar or the same across all of your different social platforms and your website, that actually builds a lot of brand consistency. And in brand consistency, when they see that across all different platforms, you can build trust because they see that you're not just some fly-by-night video or fly-by-night business, that you actually are somebody that's a business that's located and solid, and you actually have a lot of digital presence there. Because digital now is our new location, since we know people go first to their mobile when they want to know, go, do, or buy. So when you're looking at great photos, really look at your photos. Does it showcase your brand well? And you can put videos there as well. In fact, when your customers leave reviews that have photos and videos, those are given higher favor by the algorithm and they're shown up higher. So a lot of times people will ask for them to go ahead and leave a photo or a video review too. So those are also popular. Now you can also, once you've verified your Google business profile, how many of you that have business profiles are actually posting on your business profile? Let me know if you're posting. Yes, if you are. So yes or no. Either way, just let me know that in the chat box. So what is a post? It just sounds like what it sounds in social. Okay. All right. Let me tell you guys, okay, there I see somebody who is posting. For those who don't post, that might be your first thing that you're going to put on your action plan you're going to do, is to start posting. Just like in social. So if you open up a social account, the last time you posted is the last time people thought you were in business. It's the same thing here as well. The last time you posted, if I look at it and think, oh, wow, they haven't posted since 2022, never mind. But if you post regularly, that is a signal to Google that you are actually an active and in business. And this is important. The only reason Google and why Google shows you up high in search is because, and why it's the #1 search engine is because the information is correct. And it feels confident that the information is correct when it's entered by you and it sees it consistently done. It's not just a, set it and forget it. A Google business profile is not a set it and forget it tool. It is a very active tool and it's a chance for you to control what people see on search and maps. So maybe you want to showcase a new product that you brought in, or maybe you have a new team member or a team member that is celebrating their 20th anniversary that everybody knows in town. So you can showcase that there. It could be that you have a new service or a new, as I said, even a new product that you have. It could be an offer. It could be that you're showcasing, maybe you're having an event, like for example today, Bill, with the actual webinar. It could have been on a Google business profile and been set and been visible till the actual webinar started. The same thing with an offer. If you're giving, let's say, 20% off for the Memorial Day holiday, it could be visible. You could started that last month and it'd be visible on Google search and maps until actually Memorial Day. And then after that, it would go away if the offer actually ends then. So you can do an update, an offer, or an event. Those are the 3 things that you can do. And if you're posting on social, my question to you always is, why don't you repurpose and use that same information and post that on Google Business Profile? There's no reason to recreate the wheel. The only thing that you need to remember is that Google Business Profile is a different platform. People go to Google when they're looking for information. So you don't want to be like you are in social. In social, you might say, hey, do you like A or B? But in Google, you might say, hey, we're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and everybody liked B, whatever B was. So you're going to give information more than you are going to be in having a social conversation or interaction with them. Hey, I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, Shortform, which is a wonderful tool to help you be able to work smarter, not harder, by being able to take tremendous amount of information and get to the actual gist of it. Really, all of the key points, from blog publications to articles to actual videos in YouTube to books. You have all of that available to you through Shortform, and I've got a free trial available for you utilizing this link. Every week I do the Google update, which every Wednesday the audio format comes out in our free community, and then on Thursdays you get it by email. How I'm able to do that, because I look at 65 to 70 different sources, again from video to actual articles and publication, is I'm able to utilize Shortform to help summarize and look at exactly what is the key points that would be of most interest to me, and whether or not I should delve in deeper so that I can apply how you can actually apply that as a small business and content creator, making the most use of an update for you. I utilize Shortform. Feel free to use this link for your free trial. If you decide to subscribe also using that link, you'll get 20% off, which is great, because for the price of one book, you have access to all of this, and it truly is very focused and complete. It is the best tool that I get to use, and I wanted to share it with you. Thank you again to Shortform for sponsoring many of the audios in this video. You can also look to reviews in your Google Business Profile. Read your reviews and read your messages. Now, by default, messages are turned off. So what are messages? Messages are when people actually click on your Google Business Profile. If you have it active, by default, it's turned off, but you can activate it. Once it's active, they can go into Maps and they can actually text you, and it looks like a text coming into your mobile, but except they don't see your mobile phone number. So that's not at all disclosed, your mobile phone number, but it looks like that. So for example, you can also share the messaging capability with team members. So let's say you're here, you're paying so much attention in this webinar or this session, and you're taking copious notes. So you don't have time to respond to somebody, so somebody else is answering all the messages that are coming in. But this is the critical thing. It is messaging, so it acts like text messaging, which means you need to respond in 6 hours or less. If you cannot respond in 6 hours or less, then don't turn it on. Email marketing or email, we will wait 24 hours for a response. We're patient for that. In text, within 6 hours, people have some tremendous feelings about why you've ignored them. So you need to know this is a very fast-paced medium if you decide to turn it on. Don't turn it on if you can't. If you can, then you can share it with other team members, spouses, children. I have a family-owned business, so my boys are in the business, so everybody can answer when I'm doing this, when I'm at the front of the room. And you also have Q&A, which is excellent. So let me give you a little bit of advanced Google Business Profile. Anybody want some of that? Just let me know yes in the chat, and I'll tell you a little bit about advanced things that you can do with Q&A. Let me know that. Until we get there, I do want to share with everybody that with your reviews, make sure you respond to your reviews. 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a good review. So don't just look for the bad ones. Say thank you for the good ones, and you can lift yourself head and shoulders above your competitors by making sure you reply and say thank you. So that's a great way. Okay, what can you do with Q&A? Well, with Q&A, what you can do is you actually, as the owner of the business, can ask your own question. You're not penalized for doing that. So if you think about what are the top 5 or 10 questions that people ask when they are first discovering your business, or when they're in that discovery journey, so they're trying to, make it's their decision journey and they need information, what are they asking? You can ask that question right there in Q&A. You can also answer your own question. You're not penalized for answering your own question. Business owner can ask, business owner can answer. All of that is very good. Then what you can do is you can give your answer a thumbs up. One thumbs up. We call this an uptick. One thumbs up. Now go find 2 other people, so they're not on the same IP address, which is your, the way you're getting your Wi-Fi or your internet, if it's actually wired in. Don't not from the same devices, not the same IP address, and definitely not from your Google account, but to other people with Google accounts who have Gmail accounts, let's say, in other places, other locations, friends and family members, children. So I've done that with my boys. So ask them to give an uptick. So a thumbs up, because when you have 3 upticks, that's a signal to the algorithm that this information is correct. And now it can showcase you whenever there are searches happening. Okay, so now you have a chance to show up more and higher. Make sense? All right. When you have reviews, any questions about that, drop that in the chat box. But that's a great way for you to show up. And what's so nice is AI actually goes in and utilizes Q&A to answer some of its questions. And it will actually link to the answer to those questions. At least Google Gemini does. Link to that so people can click on the source, and there you are. Now you come up, okay? So how do you manage reviews? You respond to them, right? I said that. But let's say you see reviews and they have nothing to do with your business. They're trolls. People have so much time to troll. Do not feed the trolls. Okay. Those are people that just have too much time on their hands. Don't do it. You don't have to engage it. Now, some people will engage and say, I don't see you on our business roster, or you've never stayed here, or you've never been with us. Please let me know how I can help you. So they'll call it out just so people will know this is not an actual real review. But let's say you get a negative review. If you've been in business any amount of time, you will get a negative review. Here is how you respond. That is not the experience that I want for you, or that we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you please contact me or contact us here? And then you put a link to your contact form, your WhatsApp, your phone for text, your email address. However they can contact you, you put that contact there. Again, the answer is, that's not the experience I want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Please contact me here. What happens when you do that are 3 things. One is they know it's human, and we will sometimes de-escalate and not be as mad and ugly when we know it's human to human. We can be downright ugly to computers, so not human to human. We'll calm down a little bit when we know somebody's paying attention. Number 2, it takes the discussion offline. Understand that any online fight, you don't have time to win. And the more you interact with something, the more Google gets the signal that this is popular, it's important, and maybe more people want to know about it. So your job then is to take that offline. And the third thing that actually the benefit that you get is that it could actually just be a request in another format. They served it as a complaint or a concern, but it's really a request. So now you can find out more, and you can take somebody who would be a potential adversary and turn them into an advocate because you actually heard them. They felt heard, they felt listened. I saw this happen with a taco shop where somebody was unhappy with the tacos. They took a photo. They were so mad they left a horrible review. The shop owner actually reached out and used those exact words. That's not the experience I want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Please contact me here. They actually connected. They made some adjustments to the plate, and then he gave him 10 free plates, 10 coupons, so 10 cards for free plates to hand out to his friends. He was going around town saying, I helped make this. I made a difference here. So he was out there promoting this business because he felt heard. So sometimes that's all that it takes. So understand that paying attention and really listening can help you become a better expert in your customer. Also, do know that as you're getting to know your customer here and you're giving them that feedback of that's not the experience that we want for you, I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy, you truly are not jeopardizing your privacy. I have worked with and coached several financial institutions, from big banks to little credit unions, and I have seen people give their routing number, their account number, and their password in a review because they think they're having a one-on-one conversation with a representative, and they don't realize that everything in a review is public facing. So that's why you actually are telling them the truth. You're trying to preserve their confidentiality because you don't want there to be any divulging of any personal information that could jeopardize that privacy. All right, how can you ask for reviews? When you're in there, there's this link here. You can actually use this link. You see an email, WhatsApp, Facebook already set up, but put it at the bottom of your invoice. put it at the bottom of your email there under your email signature, because that's such prime real estate for people to just click and go. Put it at the, in your profile links. If you have an Instagram profile, there are 5 links that you can add there. Put it there. Put it in your post. Put it on Facebook. Put it, within your TikTok profile, your links or your link tree, however you're using for people to find and get to you, because it makes it easier for them to leave a review. And we want to make that super easy for them because we know how busy people are, right? Now, remember what I said about responding to messages? You want to be fast. This said in 24 hours. Truly, it's 6 hours. I'm telling you, people will feel like, oh my gosh, they've just ignored me. I'm not important to them. They're just too busy for my business. Those are the internal messages they're having in their mind the longer you take to reply. So just keep that in mind. You can also look at your insights. Now, no, if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting your bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. So it's important for us to absolutely measure what's going on. This insights with your Google business profile will let you know. You'll find out the time people are searching. And if they call you, are they calling you and now they're dropping off and having to leave a message as opposed to talking to somebody? So you can see they're not getting answered. It will help you make better business decisions because you're looking at your actual information about your client or your customer and how they find you. Now, when you are in your Google business profile, you can also access more features here with the 3 dots. And why would you want to do that? I want to take a moment to really focus on this because it's very important. Do not and never ever give away your Google password ever to your Gmail account, to your Google account, to your Google Ads account, Google Merchant Center, Google Business Profile, YouTube, Google Search Console, Google Analytics. Do never, ever, ever, because when you give your password away, and a lot of times people, freelancers, agencies will even ask for it, and you'll think you'll need to give it to them, but don't. Because when you give it to them, now Google only sees them equal to you. They are an owner like you. They can shut you down and they can shut you out. And you don't want to give somebody else that kind of power when this has been your blood, sweat, and tears into this business. So here's how you protect yourself. You actually use these 3 dots. And when you use the 3 dots, now you can name people as owner. So you're the primary owner. Primary owner is the only one who can shut everybody out and shut everybody down. There is an owner status after that. Owner means they can do everything that you can do, but they can't shut you down or shut you out. So they've got a lot of autonomy to do whatever they need to do without you being the bottleneck in having to do things for them or give them permission to do it. There is manager, which they can also do the same thing almost that you can do, but they can't shut you down, they can't shut you out, and they cannot add random people to manage your account because that's something that you might want to actually have approval over. So keep that in mind. You're actually going to add them by their email address, not yours, and they will be provided a separate login into your account. So if you ever need to, say goodbye, you're not stuck now with them taking over your account. And the reason I bring this up is because I've seen people with thousands of reviews and who have been, when I get off from front of the room or from the stage, they'll come up to me and tell me, Maria, I've lost my Google business profile and all my Google accounts access and they won't give it back. And I will tell them it's a really hard road to navigate because Google sees them as the owner like you. And it is a long drawn out process and it's not always successful to be able to gain that back. So that's the reason why I wanted to spend so much time and really focus on that for a moment, is never give your Google password away because you've given the keys to the kingdom away if you do that. If you did that already, your first course of action then after this is to go ahead and go change that up and do this. Find how you can add those actual managers. In fact, I will showcase and do a demo on how you can do that in just a moment when we get to the resources area. So let's finish this up with next steps. So what should and could you do next? Okay. You could do any of these 3 if you haven't already set up your Google business profile. If you have and you've never posted, maybe that's top of mind for you. Maybe you need to make sure you secure your Google password. Maybe you need to update information, or now in your description, you really need to customize this for people who are looking for you. So you need to do a little bit of recon to find out what exactly are the words that people are using when they're searching for your product, service, or solution, right? Whatever you do, do something. Right? Because knowledge is not just powerful. It's a myth. Knowledge is not powerful until it is applied, right? We can be all great Trivial Pursuit winners and have files and files of knowledge, but until we apply what we've learned, it is truly not powerful. that is the moment when that happens. So when you think about it, what is it that you're going to apply? Now, while we're on this slide, I am going to, and this is going to take me just a moment, everybody, so I bear with me because I do have two screens and we're going to have to switch a screen here because I'm going to show you, I want to give you an actual demo of what this looks like so that you can see it. Sometimes it's hard to see it just with slides, and it's better when you can see somebody clicking around there, right? So just seeing that actual, this is where it is at. This is where it makes sense. Okay, let me make sure I made that big enough. Let me switch here. You're seeing a live demo of my screen. This is my Google Business Profile back in. So you can see how I can manage, see all those icons? I can make it a little bit bigger, everybody. Hold on just a second because I know it might be really small. There we go. So you can see all the icons here. Usually 2 rows are shown. You're going to click here to reveal 2 more icons. So you have all of these icons to be able to manage your Google Business Profile with. When I talked about managers, remember what about the 3 dots? Click on these 3 dots. Now remember, you're only going to be able to do this once you've verified your Google Business Profile. So you have to be the verified owner. You're going to click here. You're going to click on business profile settings and see how it says people and access. Now you can add, edit, or remove people's access. You're going to click on this little caret there. And once you do that, now you can add somebody or you can remove somebody. But you see there's primary owner or owner. So you can add. And when you add them by email address. And now you can see exactly what I was just telling you. There's an owner or a manager, but you're always the primary owner. So even though somebody may not be an owner in your business, you might want to give them owner access so they have the ability to do the work you need them to do. But you are always and forever the primary owner unless you transfer that ownership. Okay? Does the booking link to my email and calendar preference? It depends what you actually link it to? That's a great question, Jamalia, because people use a lot of different booking tools. So you could use something like Calendly or maybe Mind, Body, Spirit if you're like a yoga studio or a fitness studio. So you might have different booking things. It depends where you link it. Now, I actually link mine to my Google Calendar because I have an appointment schedule set up in my Google Calendar. And if you've never done that, you do need to take a look at doing that. If I have a few minutes at the end, I will show you that. I can demo that, but it's more than just putting your Google Calendar link. It's appointment scheduling on your Google Calendar. There's a specific setting for that, okay? All right, I wanted everybody to see this here. So this is how you can get around, how you can read reviews, and you'll see here how you can ask for reviews so you can get that link, right, that you want. You just click on this icon right here. That means you're copying it, and now you can paste it somewhere else, all right? Let's go back here then to the actual slides and wrap things up. And then I'll do another demo if we have time. I can show you about the Google Calendar booking if it's important to you. Let me know that in the chat. All right, if you didn't get the webinar and the handout and slides, now's the time because I'm going to remove those after the top of the hour, after we finish the session. It will be emailed to you then afterwards along with the replay. This is how you can make sure it is emailed to you. This also gives you I will send you my free 5-day visibility plan. So I'll send you that for free if you go ahead and utilize these links to get your the replay and the slides. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I do have a 5-day visibility plan. For those of you who've never posted on your Google Business Profile, this will help you get consistent in that and start thinking and adding that into what you're doing without adding a lot of time and pressure to try to do that. Okay? If you need anything else, take a look at this site, google.com/grow, and then get with SCORE. Because your SCORE advisor and your SCORE chapter are truly vested in your success. They are arm in arm with Google as Google partners, and they have the expertise and the manpower to be able to help and assist you. So reach out to your local SCORE chapter because they've got so much wealth of experience that'll help you not have to trip up and make some mistakes, plus take you even further here. And if there's something else that they want to bring in to talk about to kick this off, absolutely, I'm happy to do that. So take a look at that site to see if you need anything else. And if you want to connect with me, this is how you can connect with me on socials. I'm happy to connect with you because I always like to do virtual gift dances with people who apply what they learned actually at one of the sessions. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead then. And I'm going to model what I just taught. Whenever you give good service, good information, or good product, always ask for a review because people are more likely to leave a review. If you ask for a review, you can use reviewmaria.com. That is my Google Business Profile, or you can use that QR code. It'll take you there. I'll be honored and excited and grateful if you do that, but you do not have to do that. Okay? All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and go into Q&A, but before I do that, the booking example would be great. Let me showcase that real quick. Let me bring this front and center because I am going to change screens one more time. So again, give me a little bit of grace with your patience here. And I'm going to bring up Google Calendar so you can see how to do this. All right. I'm going to go somewhere way in advance here. All right. And let me make this bigger because Google Calendar is, I know, can be very small and tight to see. All right, let me bring that up. All right, when you're in your Google Calendar, so you should see a Google Calendar there, you'll see create. When you create here, see that appointment schedule? That's what you're looking for. So you are going to go to appointment schedule. Then you're going to put the name of the schedule. You're going to say meeting with me. 30 minutes. You're going to say if it repeats weekly, does not repeat weekly. You're going to put if it doesn't repeat weekly, and I'm going to say this is going to happen May 17th at, it's going to be in my time zone, so it's picking up your local time zone, 6 to 7 p.m. If I want to do that, it's the right time zone. You can double check that. You can let people either, so you can make this available one day or you can make it like repeatedly, right? Remember, repeatedly every week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm available at this time. Then you can go ahead and put whether or not they can book 60 days out or not, or maybe you want to not allow them to do that. Then you'll click next. So you put all your requirements here. If you want to make sure that it doesn't conflict with any of your calendars, it can go out and do that. And then you can put your description here. If you want them to put some information, you can add, like if you want them to add a phone number, you can put your cancellation policy, and if you want them to pay, you can also do that for booking. So once you've done that and you click save, then what happens is that you can now share this link. So you've got a link that you can share and you can copy it, or you can just see this. That's the booking page. So that's what it looks like, and it'll have the description of everything. I didn't write a description, so that's why you don't see one. Okay, so that's how you do the booking calendar, everybody. And we can go into more depth in another session by that, or you can reach to me offline or get with your actual SCORE chapter and ask them how to do that, because they might be able to walk you through that themselves because they are there for you. Okay, now any other questions that we haven't responded to? I know we've got a minute left and I do want to be respectful of your time, but is there anything that you need? You're very welcome, Melissa. You're welcome. Thank you for asking the question.